everyone, my name is Gabby, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super review. This time reviewing episode 106. A sniper starts firing at several members of Universe 7 from far away. Goku and Vegeta locate the direction of the fire, but it turns out that was only somebody reflecting the shots coming from somebody else. Ten Shinhan manages to pinpoint the original sniper by splitting himself into four and using all of his eyes at once, and takes him out with a Shinki Koho. But as Ten Shinhan is about to finish him off, the sniper destroys the ground beneath him and sends Ten Shinhan out of the arena, although not before Ten's clones manage to grab him and send him too out of bounds. Universe 7 only has 8 members left. So, what did I like about this episode? Well, first of all, it seemed pretty clear that this was a Ten Shinhan episode. This was the episode where they kind of wanted to give Ten Shinhan something to do before he gets eliminated, and I kind of did like the idea they ended up going with. I could almost imagine the writers sort of coming together and being like, okay, so we've got to give Ten Shinhan something unique, some kind of big moment. What makes him special? Well, he's got 3 eyes. In the original series, they kind of stress how good his eyesight is, and so then they decide, okay, what kind of unique enemy should we give Ten Shinhan? Well, a character who specifically gets his power from not being seen. A sniper. It's a nice idea because it leads to a situation where pretty much everyone is in trouble, and really the only way that they can manage to get out of the situation is if they manage to find the original sniper. And the idea is that they can't actually find the original sniper without Ten Shinhan's really good eyesight and also his ability to split into 4 to basically just get even more eyes to look for him. So I thought it was a nice matchup. I thought it was a nice way to kind of use Ten Shinhan's unique abilities to actually kind of help everyone in a very kind of like obvious way. And the other thing I liked about this whole sniper situation was it meant that we kind of got to see a lot of the Universe 7 members kind of reconvening together and all kind of working as a team. You really don't often see members of this series actually like work together in a kind of teamwork scenario, and especially not like 5 members at once all kind of doing specific roles and specific jobs and like all kind of different situations. I know at the start of the tournament I was saying I was actually enjoying the fact that a lot of these characters actually were separated and we weren't going to see them all fight as a group, and I think the reason why I wanted that was because when these characters are fighting individually, you get a bit more chance to see them actually like, you know, see them as like their own unique characters as opposed to just kind of seeing them as just one member of the group. And I think the reason why I still actually enjoyed the fact that this episode was all kind of teamwork based was because a lot of the characters there had been characters that we'd already seen fight individually already, so it's kind of like, okay, we've seen what they can do alone, so now it's alright if we can just see them as just a member of the team dynamic and just see what they add to the team dynamic. Also, we got to see like proper kind of strategist Piccolo, which is an aspect of his character that I find really enjoyable, and I really like it when they do that. Oh, and also that gag with Dr. Rota constantly getting interrupted before he could explain what his special ability was. That was funny. I found that funny. Giant lampshading humor. That's my kind of humor, so yay that. As for what I didn't like about this episode, well, it turns out the reason as to why Ten Shinhan gets eliminated is because he let his guard down. Toei, can you just like not use that excuse? In fact, can you just like take that phrase out of your vocabulary? I really don't think it worked in this scenario. Because first of all, like I was saying when Krillin got eliminated, I feel like they've been playing this excuse so many times that it almost feels like the default scenario for all of these characters is that they're basically just always letting their guard down, considering how many times they seem to be mentioning it, which means it's not really surprising at all. And the other reason is that, you know, this wasn't Goku. This wasn't like a character trait that they'd sort of explored previously and they'd explained previously. This was happening to Ten Shinhan, kind of randomly, to a character who most likely is probably never going to fight again in Super after this tournament. So it's almost like they gave Ten Shinhan a character flaw for him to be eliminated, but it also doesn't feel like they're ever going to make the effort to try and correct that character flaw like they are with Goku. So it just ends up making Ten Shinhan look completely incompetent. So as for next episode, well, it looks like Universe 7's next opponent seems to be Frost, and knowing Frost, he probably has some kind of conniving trick up his sleeve. There seems to be some other stuff with other universes as well. I'm actually not sure exactly how everything's going to be structured. We don't really know many of the spoilers, so I don't really know exactly what is going to be happening this episode and how it's going to be tying into the eventual climax, but I mean, to be fair, we're probably going to find spoilers soon. And Frost isn't particularly my favourite character at all, but I am at least curious to see over what they're going to do with him, and whether that's going to tie in with Frieza in some way. So that was Dragon Ball Super episode 106. It was a checklist episode. It had some boxes it felt like it needed to fulfill, and it fulfilled them just by checking the boxes, which honestly was a little bit disappointing because they didn't really do anything more with it. I mean, I just left this episode thinking, like, Poor Ten Shinhan. He's just gotten the shortest end of the fan service stick in basically every situation since Dragon Ball was like rebooted. Every time Ten Shinhan is fighting, it just feels like it's just sort of like, oh yeah, Ten Shinhan is kind of there, I guess. He knows the Kikoho, and that's pretty much all they ever seem to do with him. I mean, if you just compare this to the Roshi episode, last episode, where, well, first of all, Roshi didn't even get eliminated, and second of all, they've spent a lot of time kind of exploring Roshi's character, and in fact, they've kind of been doing this with almost every other supporting character in this arc, except Ten Shinhan for some reason. I'm not gonna go around and say like, oh, you know, this is disrespecting his character, and how dare he not have as many badass moments. They're allowed to do what they want with Ten Shinhan. It's just very odd that he's pretty much the one character where they're basically treating him like they would treat a normal supporting cast member in Dragon Ball Z, as opposed to the way they've been treating the other supporting cast members, where they've basically been giving them a lot of big, like, power-ups and fan service moments and whatnot. I don't know, maybe they have a grudge against Ten Shinhan, or maybe they just think he's really boring, or Toriyama just didn't really have any ideas about what to do with him. Honestly, that last scenario is probably the most likely. But yeah, the episode ticked the boxes but didn't do anything special, and considering a Universe 7 member actually got eliminated, I'm kind of surprised that it was an episode like that. Next week, Super is on a week's break, which is kind of very inconvenient, because right now we are on the long road to the 1 hour special climax thing that seems like it's going to be between Goku and Jiren. I have my doubts that that's going to be the actual end of the tournament, mostly just because there's so many other things that they really haven't even like touched up on or like actually kind of followed through yet. But you know, at the very least, I feel like everyone is going to be talking about that. That's the hype moment, presumably. That's the moment where they're going to put all the best animation and fancy graphics and whatnot. It's the thing that if they're going to try and make people remember the Tournament of Power and not just have it be like a kind of fun fan servicey tournament thing that doesn't really do anything special, it's going to be that climax. So, see, I'm not going to say the next few episodes are going to be, you know, unimportant, because they're obviously going to be leading to that moment, but, you know, that moment at this point is kind of overshadowing everything else, and I hope it'll be worth it. We've got all the way until October to think about it, so maybe I should not be thinking about it, but I mean, that's what Toei wants us to do, I think. So this is Gabby, signing out, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, I guess. Bye, guys!